What are you doing here? What are you doing here, Pepper?
I am the cognitive assistant in this department. What can I do for you?
I was supposed to have the Codemotion keynotes now with Elisabetta.
Would you please show me your card so that I can find your information?
Sure.
Super. Please put it in front of my eyes. Are you alright? I see you have a meeting with Elisabetta. I'm texting Elisabetta. She is coming. Thanks for discussing with me. Please don't hesitate to ask me again if you need anything.
Thanks, Pepper.
I'm sorry.
Hi.
Microphone? Okay, can you hear me? Okay. Hi, Rossella, sorry.
Hi.
For the delay. Yes. I know that you met already Pepper.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's here.
Yeah, and it seems that you knew him already, right? So
Yeah.
yes, he's our new assistant. Francesca and Herminia convinced me to start a very good project, and so I decided to hire him. Yeah, and you know, he can understand. I mean, they told me that he can even reason if he has a knowledge contest, and he can learn. But the very interesting thing is that he can be applied. I mean, he can be involved in, for example, concierge scenarios, right? He can be a concierge like he's doing today, right? And but he can also be used as a sales assistant. But also, for example, for entertainment purpose, so for elderly or for children's care. So this is really amazing. But do you know what is behind him?
Yeah, I think everybody will start thinking how we can put all this power into such a small box. So I may help you with that. So the key thing here is that Pepper is able actually to reach out all the services inside the Bluemix world. So it's over than 140 services, among which advanced cognitive services. And you can imagine the scenario. It can reach out our cloud. It can, for example, check information related to the weather company. So is it going to rain today? It's going to be sunny. It can do advanced machine learning, use machine learning capabilities. It can do natural language processing. Actually, the information from our interaction can be stored into a data store somewhere in the cloud and maybe processed by the IBM Marketing Cloud. So that can be used to optimize future interactions or making better marketing campaigns. Or, of course, you can send data to your backend into your company. But let me give you some more details about the cognitive services inside Bluemix. I will group them in three main areas. There will be services for visual recognition, like, for example, face detection. It can understand, for example, easily which gender the person is interacting with is, which age range, and you can imagine the marketing capabilities of this kind of things. If trained, there are services to start doing real face detection, so really understand which is the person I'm interacting with, so you can imagine the implication for security activities. There will be services related to emotions and feelings, like personality insight. For example, understanding if the person you are talking with is an open person, it's toward extroversion, if it has some special needs and values you don't want to go into, or you may want to leverage, for example, for, again, your marketing campaign, or for example, your recruiting activities. And then there is a huge variety of services that are related, for example, to natural language processing. Starting from one of the things I like the most is the conversation service, where actually you can program easily your bot or your Pepper to interact with human language, with natural language, with a machine, and then maybe you can have a system that will do text-to-speech or speech-to-text, and then language translation, or things more sophisticated like retrieve and rank, where you can, for example, do complex searches where you have not only statistical algorithm, but also machine learning inside. What's up?
Rossella, we need to talk about some of the actual examples that Watson provides. This is not just about theoretical, but there's some fantastic examples. So we go on to the next chart here. Let's have a look at some of them. So a lot of them are, I'll talk about a couple of them. One,
Excuse me, who are you?
oh, Pepper.
Closer.
Excuse me, who are you? Salvatore Vella, Vice President for IBM Cloud Platform. I feel the power. He aims to life-saving cognitive powers.
O capisci, Giuliano. So, a couple of examples here of using Watson. One is, given we're in Milan, Marchesi, the fashion house at the Met Gala, created a Watson-powered dress, where they looked at the social sentiment, the Twitter sentiment, for the dress and changed the color of the dress. So rose meant joy, and for passion they had coral, and so on. So terrific example. We've also used Watson to go create recipes, so Watson Food. We've used Watson as a bartender to go create drinks. And we've even used Watson to go mine the world for songs and create songs as well, or write songs. So that's kind of fun examples. But there's some very serious examples as well. And one of the big problems we have is we have too much information in the medical field, and especially with cancer. The problem with cancer is that the specialists can't absorb all of the information that's available. So the other example here is the fact that there was a 60-year-old woman in Japan. She had leukemia, no way to solve it, because she had a very rare form of leukemia. Her doctors couldn't figure out what it was. Watson figured it out in seconds. Many other examples like that. There was a study looking at how well the council of the best doctors did versus Watson. It did no worse than the doctors, but in 30% of the cases, it found other treatments for the patients. Right? So one of the things actually, as IBMers, we have available to us Watson for cancer care, for example. Right? So terrific examples of how Watson can change the world.
Yeah, but from the technical perspective, I mean, I think that this really requires a lot of, coding or, a huge investment from the skills perspective.
Yeah, it may sound scary, like, I need to learn a lot of technologies, a lot of programming languages, a lot of different middlewares, big data, and all these fancy things, complex statistical algorithms. Can we make our life easier? Let me try to give you some hints. Jumping into the Bluemix world, how would you start? First of all, you may want to choose a runtime. What is a runtime? Your programming language or your basic middleware. Let's suppose you want to build a mobile application or an IoT device like the interface for Pepper. So let me pick a couple. Do you like Swift? Maybe you want to do your mobile application. There is a runtime for Swift. Just click the button, instantiate it, and you have your Swift environment. You like JavaScript? Go with Node. JavaScript, maybe Node-RED. And there is far more than that. Just to give you an example. Do you want to start from scratch? I think nobody right now starts from scratch. We have a set of boilerplates in Bluemix. What are boilerplates? These are examples that are combining several services together to build application that we think can be of general utility. And of course, you can instantiate them, modify them, have a look at the code. It's on the public GitHub. Fork it, modify it, enjoy it. For example, we wanted to build our mobile application or IoT application. This is the boilerplate for the IoT platform. What else? Let's start instantiating services. So let's think we want to do a cognitive application with IoT devices. So this is the service for the IoT platform. Then I can add my favorite one for cognitive, the conversation service that allows you to interact with natural language with Watson. Speech to text, because usually you want to communicate to a system through REST APIs. So you speak, get translated into the test, send the input to another service. Alchemy APIs. Inside this service, you will find everything that helps you manipulating natural languages. And what more? Natural language classifier that helps you understanding, for example, which are the key entities in your speech so that your bot can jump from one context to another, just picking up which is the main entity and argument you are talking about. And maybe, like for the Marchesa case, you are interested in what people are thinking about your application, so that's the Twitter inside. Just to give you an example, how to build a mobile or IoT application. What else? It's over 140 services. We have 10 runtimes. You can add your own runtime if it's not there. And something like 60 boilerplates. And this thing is growing pretty much daily. If you're really deep into cognitive and artificial intelligence, for the Watson services, there is a huge variety of Watson starter kits. A lot of these things will have public code samples on GitHub. So that will be my recommendation. It's quite easy to build leverage.
So, tell me, Sal, I mean, let me tell that I'm starting to get you worried about how much this could cost, right? Because I didn't get the Peppers bill yet, so I'm really getting worried. So, Sal, do you know something more?
Yeah, no, this is, we made the platform easy to use and really easy to start with. And from an expense point of view, it's cheap, cheap, cheap. Just let me tell you, so how many people here are students? Put up your hand. I saw that a number of you are students. Okay. So, la mia figlia, my daughter, is a second-year university student. In the summer, she came to me and said, Dad, we're going to, you know, a group of friends and I have got a startup, okay? So they're using Bluemix, going to use some Watson services, some sentiment analysis, and a topic that she enjoys, which is food and restaurants, to go, and they've got a little startup. So I encourage you to do that. There's a free trial. It's what we call pay by the drink in terms of, you know, pay by the API and pay, you know, once it's a paid portion. But in terms of expense, that is not an issue. And I challenge you to start your own startup, right? So please do.
Yeah, let me add one more thing. We thought about some fancy real example. I would like to take you into the science fiction's world. Are you familiar with Star Wars?
I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I distinctly remember watching the Star Wars film where Yoda brings the X-Wing out of the water, and I spent probably far too long than I'd like to admit staring at cars to see if I could move them. So to have that ability to control my own the Force in this instance, that's very cool. My name is Joshua Carr, and I am the technical liaison for IBM's Worldwide.
I will give you the link to the video so that we won't watch it all, but the key idea is there something that may look like science fiction. Are you all familiar with Star Wars? Did you recognize the robot? So that guy, it's one of our colleagues, he built an IoT interface on Bluemix for that robot, and it's controlling its movement with its mind. I really would like to suggest you to have a look at the video. It's really cool. And of course, you can have a look at sample code on the public GitHub.
So, but Rossella, I mean, we have Francesca that is really, you know, has a lot of experience with Pepper already, but if I am a new byte and I want to start, I mean, where I can start from? Oops. Sorry, back. Okay.
Yeah, so for the Italian speakers, actually, the community is mainly done in Italian, and of course we support also English language. There is this lovely community, the IBM Italian community, Bluemix community, where actually we have all the news about the new services, we have information about webinars that are happening there. There is a lot of people like myself and Elisabetta that are going to, you know, give hints on how to use services, how to build application in case of issues. I mean, there are other people that are using the community that can help you out. And we just got to 1,000 people in the community. So thanks everybody for that.
Yes, I just want to add that actually this has been announced and was born in March in the previous edition of Codemotion in Rome, so this is a huge achievement really in just a few months.
Ragazzi, che aspettate? Ok, registratevi alla community, come si dice qua.
So thanks everybody for attending. We also will have some sessions about cognitive computing with Francesca later on. And maybe, Pepper, do you want to add something more?
I would like to thank everybody and invite you all to meet me at the IBM booth. Ciao ciao a tutti.